share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe.
Drum tech, drummer, and YouTube educator Kenny Sharretts coming to you live from White Room Studios in Austin, Texas, with the final installment of my Broken Ankle drum tuning video series. Now today we're going to be focusing on transforming my small kit that I use for cocktail gigs and as my rehab practice pad kit into an easy to carry, easy to load in and out of the venue, powerful pro-sounding kit that can handle all my cover band gigs, all my rock gigs. So when the moment comes that I can return to playing, I'm still not hurting my ankle by carrying a light kit that sounds great and is covered in every facet from not only great drum sounds to triggering and miking. So let's check out the kit where it stands. First, we unpacked the kit from my Ahead bag system featured in my video, Ahead Sled, one bag to roll them all, which allows me to carry a light, compact DW-based hardware system that still leaves room in the sled for the insert bag with my snare, my 10-inch tom, my triggering, miking, and monitoring systems. On the bass drum, we have an Evans coated G1 on the resonance side, which we will eventually change to an Evans Calftone. On the batter side, we have a clear EQ4 with sounds captured by the YAMAHA EAD10, a Heil PR48, and a Beta 91 on a Kelly Shoe Flats. Then we have the toms with a coated G2 on the batter side, and a clear G1 on the reso side for a warm jazzy sound. Next up, we have the quickest way to upgrade the sound of any discount kit, adding a good snare drum such as the 62 LUDWIG'S Superphonic, this Tama SLP Maple, or my beloved Tama SLP G Maple. However, today I went with my 12 and 16-inch solid shell mesquite snares from McREE drums in Wimberley, Texas. If you've got a 16-inch snare drum and a 16-inch bass drum, these two gotta get together. It's just gotta be done. And so now we have our first drumhead configuration for this discount drum kit transformation. After we got the kit mic'd up, the team at White Room Studios was hungry.
Haven't had any meats!
Okay. So while they cooked up some bacon, I got busy cooking up some smoking sounds on these sweet mesquite snares. First up is a 12-inch by 7-inch solid shell snare with reinforcement rings, fitted with an Evans HDJ 300 combo, pure sound snare wires, and tuned to a perfect fifth interval. That's simplified. Listen to that Wagner saying, "Come on!" Next, we have the mighty 16-inch by 6.5-inch solid shell snare, which I fitted with an Evans coated G2 to maximize the thwomp of this massive drum. That's what I'm talking about, studio thwomp. Let's see how much thwomp this 16's got. Solid thwomp. Because I used Zildjian and rimshot locks on the tension rods, the toms were still in tune straight out of the bag. So it was time for my first guest drummer, ALEC CABRERA from the band CORBELLA, to get tones on this configuration. We'll start the next transformation by changing up the 16-inch QBB bass drum with a few tools to create a boomier, punchier sound. The next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and put one of these Evans Calftone heads on front of this drum to get a little bit more thick, rich tone, a little bit more texturized sound coming out of it. Not so much brightness like the G1 coated I had on there. We're going for the thickness. And then the final pieces I'm putting together on this kick drum that is only 16 inches big to get the max boom out of it and the max punch out of it. So I'm going to tune these drum heads to a tonic and a half step above, so I'll get the maximum boom coming out of this, and I have this back head as low as it can go. And then I'm going to be checking out some of the new Ahead speed kick beaters, including this sonic beater with the cutout hole, to see if it can maximize the punch while still being able to use a standard felt beater, a standard plastic beater, and of course the big soft beater for my gigs in quieter clubs where I still got to use this kick drum. Next, it's onto the toms, where we removed the Evans coated G2s, and after a little preventative maintenance on the shell hardware, we installed clear EC2s for increased attack and volume. Another tip and trick I like to do when I'm changing heads, especially on a whole kit, is make sure I have reference points for both the C sharp and the F sharp that these bottom heads are tuned to. Now we're using a perfect fifth between the two toms. It's the interval between the two toms. And then I'm going to tune it to a major third between the top head and the bottom head, this being tonic, this being a major third above. But in order to keep my reference straight for when I change the bottom heads and when I tune the top heads to change the bottom heads, I like to have my reference points on there. Another fundamental I do want to cover is remember when you put that top head on or any head on when you're replacing a head, make sure you get as finger tight as possible. By finger tight, I really want some tension on the hoop, tension on the head. Where you get a good set of tones that you're starting with, so you're starting at a balanced place with this drum head. Then remember, since we're stretching this head out, let's go ahead and be a little aggressive. Half turns all the way around in stereo tuning fashion. Then double check your tones along the way. Fine tune, and then let's go again. Now the goal is to make sure you keep equal balance. So remember, every time you go around, and we went up about 3 sets of turns, 3 sets of full half turns all the way around in a radial pattern using 2 keys, make sure that you balance it as you go so it stretches in a balanced fashion, and then we're going to detune it in about 15 minutes once this head stretches enough in the same fashion we put it up. Stereo tuning movements, equal and down, balancing as we go.
After a good 15-minute stretch, I seated the heads with the heel of my palm and a wide palm stretch to help create an impression of the bearing edge into the head. Then tuned the EC2s so we could flip the Reso heads to coated G1s to tighten up the sustain and retain some warmth. Once I got the resonant heads tuned up, it was time for our next guest drummer to demo this new head configuration.
Now that you've seen some of the little things and tuning tricks and pieces of equipment I use to trick out this little drum kit and get it ready to play some of my cover band gigs, my rock and blues gigs here in Austin when my ankle finally heals, I want you to hear it. Unfortunately, I can't play the drums, but I have brought to you my dear friend Brian Christopher Mendes, Mr. How to Play in 13/8 himself.
It makes it a lot of fun. This is a really fun kit, man. It's really fun.
wanted to give a shout out of thanks to the whole gang over at White Room Studios for helping me not have to lift a single thing to make this video happen for you guys. They took care of all the heavy lifting, all the video, all the lighting, so I just sat here and tuned some drums. And I also wanted to thank all the Austin drummers that came in just to do some playing for you and these kids, because I, of course, cannot.
Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, subscribe.